So can you give me exception for
Right.
today? For today
So
only.
no exception to anyone. Right.
So no will
So if
will
you are attending class, then no exception. No, if you are attending class, then no exception. If you don't want to attend, then there's no problem. I am not forcing anyone, but it should not happen na, that only I am speaking, and when I'm calling someone's name, that then that person is not there, and I'm thinking whether the person is listening or not. So I should also have some basic privileges, na, so that I can find out whether a student is there in the class or not. You want to leave, you can leave, but at least I should also be aware about the same, na? Right? So I can give you all of you that exception today. But the thing is, if I'm calling your name once, then you have to respond in one call only. So no need to repeat your name. If you are agree with this, I don't have any problem. Whatever you want to do, you can do. But the thing is, you should respond in one call only. What do you say, all of you?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? So if you
Yes,
are
sir.
listening, I don't have any problem. But you should respond in one call. If I'm calling your name, then immediately you need to respond. No matter whether you know the answer or not, that is different thing. At least I will be able to find out that you are paying attention, you are at least listening to me. And then whatever you want to do, you can do. Ideally, you should not do. But even if you are thinking, then it's your choice, because providing recording does not mean that we will not be attending lectures and then we'll later on see what we'll later on watch the recording. So we are going to start today's session, and again this is also related to introduction to derivatives. In this class we will be discussing the different markets, the types of derivatives, uses of derivatives, and types of derivatives. Okay, before I start today's class, I'd like to inform you that I have sent you uh, one message on both the classes, OFRM as well as FSABV class, where I have mentioned that in case if you are having any doubt, then you can note down all those doubt in that form, Google form that I have shared. And then we will be discussing those questions in the next tutorial. And suppose if the tutorial is there on the same day, then you have, if you want your query to be resolved on the same day, then you will have to write down your doubt or query in that form on before 12 noon of the same day. And if you are entering your doubts after 12 of the same day, then your query will be resolved in the next tutorial class. There is a reason behind this. Reason is that when we were holding those tutorials during the offline classes, at that time we were having the board, so I could write immediately whatever you wanted to write. But now, if you will be asking any numerical questions and I need to solve that, then I need some time to solve. And in case I'm going to solve online while you are sitting in the class, then it will waste your as well as my time, because then we may not be able to uh, resolve more problems on the same day. We will be able to solve only one question or two questions. So, because of the limitations of technology, and the limitation is we are not able to connect Jamboard with this, so there will be issue. So it's better that you can provide those queries, those doubts, those clarification in advance, at least 4 hours before the tutorial, and that link will be on all the time throughout these two courses. So if you have any doubt, you can enter in the OFRM form, and if you have any doubt in the FSABV, you can share in the same form, and I can check, and I will be finding that how many queries will be there during the day. So it will be good from the perspective of logistical issues as well. So this is what, and I've already shared. So please check, and in case if you are having any doubt, then share over there. In case if you are going to ask then and there, then I may respond to you in the next class. So you may think, yeah, I've attended tutorial, then I'm not getting response, because it will depend upon the answer. That do I need to solve something on the board, or it is just a conceptual question, then I can reply. But if it is something what where I need to use the board, or I need to use a screen, then won't be easy for me. So I hope you understand and you will make use of that form. In case if you are having any doubt, you can enter. So this was regarding the announcement. Though the stream that I shared was self-explanatory, but later on I thought to share it with you. So now we are going to start today's class, which is regarding the introduction of derivatives. In this class, we will be discussing regarding markets, types of derivatives, uses of derivatives, as well as types of traders. So after completing this particular session, you will be able to learn about various types of derivatives and their users. All are different users of derivatives. So we'll begin with the market, which is over-the-counter market. In derivatives, there are two terms are used that whether that particular derivative is OTC traded or exchange traded. So OTC is nothing but the over the counter market where the two persons are meeting and then they are discussing about a particular contract and then they are entering into that contract. So one would be the buyer, other would be the seller, and only these two parties are required. For example, if you and I want to enter into a forward contract, then we will be entering through uh, I will directly be contacting you that I wish to purchase this particular underlying asset from you in the month of October. How much price would you like to charge from me for this underlying asset? And you will be telling me that this, look, this is the price that I want to have in exchange of this particular asset. So the we will be entering, it will be assumed as if both the parties have entered into the contract. So this would be over the counter market where the buyer and seller will directly come and enter into that contract. These markets are customized as per traders' mutual relationships. What does it mean? That these are customized. That means if uh, I want to purchase only five items, or maybe say I want to purchase 10 liter of oil in the month of October, then I can enter, and you as a seller will be willing to sell 10 liters of oil. Or I wish to purchase 50 liters of oil, then I can purchase. So these can be customized. We can customize it that I want the delivery of the goods uh, in the evening at 7:30 p.m. Or we can decide that I will be making the payment in terms of USD, or I will be making the payment. Half payment will be made in US dollar term, half payment will be done in terms of INR terms. In short, I just want to tell you that the contract will be customized as per the mutual relationship of the parties. So both the parties will decide that how much quantity they want to buy or sell, what price they want to give or receive, how they want to receive the payment, then how in which currency payment will be made. So all these things will be shared, will be agreed upon by the two parties in the same mutually, right? So over the counter market means the contract size may vary from person to person, from party to party. Now, the second thing is that contract specifications vary from contract to contract. So customized means only that this will vary from as per the customization, as per the need of the customer, as per the need of the vendor, the contract size will be decided. So this is what happens in case of OTC. Now, the second type of markets are exchange traded market. I told you that two types of market can be there, OTC or exchange traded. So in exchange traded market, that means when two parties are entering into the contract, but not directly. Like I gave you earlier example that you and I want to enter into a contract. So we are directly entering. We need not to know any intermediary in between, but the why we are entering through an intermediary, because of risk of default, that if the other party is not fulfilling his or her obligation, then the first party cannot do anything. He or she cannot uh, uh, force other party to perform its obligation. So we want some intermediary who can give some assurance that in case if this person is going to default, then we will be assuring you. I'm giving you a very basic example. Uh, if I know some student who wants to do an MBA and I tell him that I will be teaching you all the courses of MBA, right? And then you please give me this much fees. I am assuring you I will be giving you placement guarantee as well. So uh, in this, or we can take another example that I am giving coaching, tuition. I'm giving tuition. So for that purpose, one student is there and teacher is there. So there is an agreement with between the teacher and student. If the teacher has received advance fee and he is not going to teach the student, then that student cannot do anything. He because the teacher has defaulted in providing the education. Or the other side, if the student has already studied from that tutor, but student is not going to pay the fee, then teacher cannot do anything because he can only file a case in the court of law. And we all know that how much time will be taken by courts in deciding the matter. It may take 10 years, it may take 15 years, it may take 20 years, or maybe 40, 50 years. You never know. So that teacher or that student both are at risk of default of providing services, getting services. Teacher is at risk that he may not get the fee from the student, and the student would be at risk that the teacher, after getting the advance payment, may not provide him the education, may not provide him the coaching. So what they are doing, they are going through some intermediary where that intermediary is giving an assurance that look, if this teacher is not going to provide you the coaching, then we will arrange another coaching, and another tutor. And if this student is not going to provide, then we will be giving you, we will be compensating you. So similarly, this is what happens in futures market, forward market as well, where the two parties wants to enter. I want to purchase 50-liter oil from you in the month of October, but I'm not going to make the payment advance. I will be making the payment in the month of October. Suppose today the diesel prices are 74 rupees per liter. So I need to pay you for 10 liters, I need to pay you 740 rupees, and I want to pay that 740 rupees in the month of October. And then you will be delivering me 10 liters of diesel. But what if the prices goes up to 76 rupees? Then how much money do I need to pay you? 760. But I will not be paying because we have already entered into a contract for 740 rupees for 10 liters. Now, in this case, who is going to lose? Buyer, seller is going to lose because he has to, if he would have sold the same diesel in the market, in the open market, then he could have received 760 rupees. But now, since he has already entered into an agreement with the buyer, so he will be receiving only 740 rupees. So he will be losing 20 rupees. Or the other case is if the price of diesel comes down to 720 rupees. Now the buyer is not having any choice and buyer will have to give 720 rupees to the seller, and seller will be very happy but buyer will be losing his money. So there is a risk that in case if the price moves up to 760, then the seller can say that look, I am not going to deliver it to you. And if I have already entered into an OTC market, then I cannot do anything with that seller. I can only go to the court, and then we know that how much time and money we will be wasting. So there will always be that risk of default. Or if the prices comes down to 720 rupees for 10-liter diesel, then I may say no, I don't want to purchase this oil from you. I will be purchasing it from directly from the petrol pump. So what will happen? The seller is at risk because earlier he thought that he will be selling it for 740, but now he will be ending at selling at either at 720, or he will be losing his 20 rupees because now he will have to sell the same thing in open market. I don't want to purchase, or if I'm ready, willing to purchase from him, then I want to pay only 720, which in both the cases he will be losing. So what are we going to do to safeguard ourselves from such risk of default? We will be entering through an exchange. So then exchange will provide us its services, but in return of providing this security, in return of providing this services to both buyer as well as seller, exchange will charge some money, and then both of us will not be having that risk. So this is what is called exchange traded contract, exchange traded market. And the very first exchange was there where it was there in Chicago, was Chicago Board of Trade. I'll also give one more example. You must have watched that movie Guru. Have you seen that movie,
Yes, sir.
Vasu?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I think maximum of you must have seen, but even if you have not seen, then what was the case that this Abhishek Bachchan, he came from a village or from a uh, rural area, and then he come to the city where he wanted to do some business of cotton bales. So what he did, went to a market, and in that market there were different traders who were giving who were putting different values to purchase as well as to sell those cotton bales. So this is what happens in over-the-counter market, that buyers and sellers both will be meeting each other on the same place. Like if you are going to the market and you want to purchase something, then buyer and sellers both are there. But in case of exchange traded market, buyer does not know from whom he is going to purchase, and seller does not know who to whom he is selling his goods. So all the contracts will be done through exchange. If and any one of you trades in the share market, you don't know from whom you are going to purchase those shares. The only thing is you have given your quote and you will be buying those shares from the market, and market will be providing you. How market is providing, we don't know, and neither we know nor we are interested to know, because we were only interested how we can get these number of shares. Similarly, if I want to sell some shares, then I am least interested to know who is going to purchase these shares. So these exchanges will be the one of the very oldest exchange is Chicago Board of Trade, and the other one is Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Then Multi Commodity Exchange is there, which is there in India. Then National Commodity and Derivative Exchange Limited. So then every country will be having its own exchange. So there are so many Tokyo Stock Exchanges there. So there are so many exchanges where the people can trade in commodities or different underlying assets. Those underlying assets may vary. We have already discussed in the last class. These may vary from commodity to financial instruments, financial product, financial derivatives, or it can be weather derivatives, it can be credit derivative, it can be insurance derivative, it can be anything. So it depends that which underlying assets are being traded, because exchange will decide which item, which type of derivative should be traded in our exchange. So if anything is not available, maybe that particular exchange is not allowing, maybe because of the less demand or less participants of that particular underlying asset in the market. So I'm just giving you here some information regarding that what is the size of the exchange traded market. The source of this particular uh, information is Bank for International Settlements. So the data was is available from the on that website up to 2007. So you can see that this is how the market has grown from June 1998 to June 2007. These are both OTC as well as exchange traded market. So the line that you are, this particular line is OTC market, and this one is exchange traded. Right. This is why I was telling you to share those problems for hours before. So you can see that how the growth in the OTC market is there. Though the exchange traded market is also taking popularity and has taken popularity, but OTC markets, the way these have grown, you can understand the size in 550 trillion. So by June 2007, the size was 550 trillion dollars, while the exchange traded were somewhere around 75 or 80 dollars or 80 trillion dollars. Means people prefer OTC market more as compared to this exchange traded. Reason, these are customized as per the need of the two parties. As we discussed in the previous slide, that OTC markets are customized, which means the two parties can decide that what should be the contract size, whether it will be you want to purchase 50 liters oil or 10 liter oils or 2 liters oil, whatever they can decide mutually. But in case of exchange traded market, there will be a lot size that minimum you have to purchase at least 1000 liters of oil. I'm just giving you an example, or it can be 1000 barrel oil, because in international market oil is measured in terms of international, in terms of barrel. So this is how people prefer OTC market over exchange traded market. Got it? And today, I'm sure that size must have grown in both the cases, but again, OTC market will be grown at a faster speed. There must be a wide gap between the two. Then comes future exchange. These futures exchange, how can a person trade in exchange? So first thing is that in exchange, there will always be a membership, and that membership is going to be taken by the individual member. So first of all, a person will have to become the member of the exchange, and then only they can start trading. So it does not mean that you and I can become member. To become the member, one will have to show his financial stability, financial strength. Then only that person can enter into a can become the member of the exchange. Because if the person is not in a position to take a risk, then he cannot become. So one individual person will be member. Then any brokerage firm will be allowed to trade through that person. So an individual person of the firm will have to become the member of the exchange, and then other people can trade through him only. So in exchange, there is like in a school or college, there are set of faculty members who will be teaching. So other person, anyone cannot come and teach. So means that they are the member. So similarly in exchange, there will be members who will be individuals who will own some seats. Seats means they will be the members. They will be having the membership of the exchange. So one can trade only through those members. So if I want to trade, I will have to trade through a member, and that member would be any brokerage house, and those members will be giving their membership to these brokerage houses. So brokerage house through that member will be trading in the exchange. So for example, if I need to trade, I will be opening my account in a with a broking firm where I will be having a brokerage account, a demat account, and whenever I will be trading through that account, then I need to deposit some margin money in the brokerage account. Similarly, that broker will also have to keep some margin money with the member. Otherwise, if the broker defaults, then what will happen? Member will not be able to fulfill his obligation, because I am asking my broker to purchase on my behalf. Broker is asking that member to purchase on his behalf, and that member is exchange asking the exchange to purchase on his behalf. So that means that everyone who is going to enter into that contract will have to keep some margin money, and that margin money will depend upon the size of a contract in which the person is entering. If I'm entering only for a contract size of 1 lakh rupees, then I may be required to deposit the margin money according to the size 1 lakh rupees. But broker who will be having hundreds or thousands of customers will not be required to. I may be required to deposit 10,000 rupees as margin money, but my broker, maybe Angel Broking Firm, maybe Carby Broking House, or maybe Religare Broking Firm, all these will be having thousands of customers. So they do not require to deposit only 10,000 rupees. They will be required to deposit their margin money according to the size in which they are trading with the members. And then similarly, members will be required. So you can understand that what kind of margin money, what kind of fee is to be deposited by the member to become to purchase a seat or to become the member of the exchange. The second thing we have already discussed that only members of the exchange can transact orders on the exchange floor. So other person cannot and cannot trade. Now, so these two are the basic things that the contract in the derivative market can be of two types: OTC market, over the counter market, as well as the exchange traded. So in exchange, there will be members who will be trading on behalf of other people. So only members can trade. Now, we have already started this chapter with this topic, but we have not discussed what derivative is. So, derivative is a financial contract whose payoff structure is determined by the value of an underlying asset. So, in this particular definition, if we go through this particular definition, we will be finding that there are certain important terms which we need to discuss before going to the next topic. So the first thing is there has to be some underlying asset. If there is no underlying asset, we cannot enter into the contract. So to understand derivative, what is derivative? Derivative will be there where one under there has to be one underlying asset. First thing. Second is that there will whatever underlying we are having, we need to find out its value. We need to determine its value. So determination of the value of the underlying asset will be there. We are determining how we are determining that I want to purchase crude oil from you and I wish to purchase 5 barrel of oil. Now, because I've already explained you that in exchanges there will be a lot size. So one lot size will be of 1,000 barrel oil. So I wish to purchase 5 lots from you. 5 lots means 5,000 barrel oil I wish to purchase. So I wish to purchase those 5 lots of oil in the month of October. And suppose today the rate of one lot of oil is $1,000, for example. So if one lot of oil is costing $1,000, then 5 lots will cost me $5,000. But I want to purchase that oil in the month of October. So neither you know what would be the price of those 5 lots of oil in the month of October, nor do I. So we have to, or rather I, because I'm considering it from my side, from my perspective. If you are the seller, you will consider it from your perspective. So I want to determine that what would should be the value of these 5 lots of oil in the month of October. So I will be determining the value. So that is why it is said that derivatives are those financial contracts where the value of an underlying asset is being determined. So we are trying to derive the value of that underlying asset. That what would be the value in future? What would be the value of dollar in the month of September? What would be the value of crude oil in the month of October? What would be the value of uh, zinc in the month of October? What would be the value of cotton bales in the month of November? So that means we want to derive the value. And based on certain formulas, based on certain other factors, we will be deriving And once we have derived the value, so the contract which is there between the two party is the financial contract. And so third important term is that we are deriving, we are entering into a financial contract. So number one, there has to be one underlying asset. Then we need to derive the value of that asset. And third thing is there has to be a financial contract. And fourth thing is whose payoff structure. So now the question is, what is payoff structure? So payoff structure is we want to find out that how much profit or loss we may have if we are going to enter into this particular contract. So if I have thought that the oil price of 1,000 barrel oil or one lot of oil, which is today $1,000, maybe may go up to $1,100. So payoff will be the difference between current spot price, sorry, difference between the spot price at that time and difference between the at that spot price at that time and uh, the price at which I'm entering into that contract. So I entered to purchase that oil for $1,100. That okay, I'm willing because I was thinking that the price of that oil may go up beyond 1,100. It may be somewhere around 1,150 or $1,200 in the month of October. So I decided to purchase it for $1,100 per lot. But at that time, whatever is the price would be the payoff. Suppose price at that time is $1,050. So payoff will be $50 per lot. Or you can say this is my profit. But this payoff is not net profit. This is gross profit. Why am I calling it gross profit? Because I have not yet deducted the charges to be paid to exchange. That brokerage I need to consider, na? Whether I'm buying it through brokerage house or a brokerage house is buying through a member or a member is buying through an exchange, everyone will have to pay some fee. Otherwise, why would the other party perform its part? Why would a broking house is going to provide me these services if I'm not paying any brokerage to that house? If I'm not going to provide anything to that particular person. So for that purpose, I need to, so all those things will be deducted later on from the payoff, but we are interested only in the payoff structure. So we would like, so a financial contract whose payoff structure is determined by the value of an underlying
महीने पे देने
asset.
पैसे या अभी देने नहीं वो वाले तो महीने पे पता है, आज इसने एक और बात बोली ये इनको बोल रहा था ये क्या होता है वैसे हम साल के लेते हैं और हम साल के नहीं लेते वो जो तुम्हारा तो छोटा अमाउंट है पर
Shivam
जिसने
Chaturvedi,
1,20,000 साल के दिन में उनको लगता है कि बड़ा महंगा लगता
Shivam
है इसलिए महीने का
Chaturvedi,
बना है कह रहे कि आप इसने मुझे ये वाली बात बोली कि आप तो महीने के पैसे देते हो अभी आप बैठते भी नहीं हो काम करने के लिए मैंने पागल आदमी के
I have removed him, and so a financial contract whose payoff structure is determined by the value of an underlying asset is uh, this is what I was telling you to keep it on mute mode or don't involve in any other activities because again the person who is speaking gets disturbed. So a derivative is a financial instrument where the financial contract whose payoff structure is determined by the value of an underlying asset. Now, if there is any doubt, please ask me as this definition is going to play an important role to understand derivatives in future. So four characteristics we have derived from this definition. One, there has to be some underlying asset. That underlying asset may be anything. Yesterday we were talking in the last class, we were talking about that weather can also be an underlying asset. Temperature can also be an underlying asset. Whether the temperature will be cool or hot, whatever, so that can be an underlying asset. Then we need to derive the value. Gold can be an underlying asset, cotton can be an underlying asset, or anything. It can be an underlying asset. The only thing is we need to determine the value of that underlying asset. Then only we will be entering into a financial contract. Why financial contract? One party would like to purchase at that price, other party would like to sell. So if both the parties wants to buy, then there cannot be, because at least we require one buyer or one seller. Then fourth is payoff structure, and payoff structure is Shivam Chaturvedi. Shivam, Shivam Chaturvedi. So this is how the payoff structure means we will have to find out profit or loss of that particular contract. But remember, this profit or loss will only be gross, not net. So a situation will be profitable for the party to enter into the contract if the payoff is positive. But if payoff is negative, that means further the loss is going to further increase. As if we are going to increase, we are going to add the cost of those items as well in our contract. So the next thing is, what are the different ways in which these derivatives can be used to? Can anyone tell me what are the ways in which these derivatives can be used? Anyone? Yes, is there anyone who is listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, tell me. Yes, Nathan, what are the ways in which we can use derivatives?
To hedge the risk
The or the
Yes,
or
transferring the
spec.
risk.
further transferring the risk. Okay,
Risk.
and what else?
So speculation.
For
Underlying
speculation purposes. For
for underlying assets.
no, underlying assets will always be there, but what are the different purposes for which we may enter into the underlying asset as a characteristic underlying asset has to be there. But for underlying asset, we are not entering into the contract. We are entering into the contract for some purpose. I'm asking her that what are those uses for which I'm entering. For example, Damini said that we may enter into the contract for speculation purposes. We may want to have some benefit out of the price fluctuation. So that's why we may enter. What could be other reasons of entering into the market? I'm asking those things. So till now, I've received only one correct answer. What about other?
Leverage to holding.
Leverage. What does it mean? What is the meaning of leverage? Yes. Who was that?
Sir Vasu.
Yes, Vasu. So one can use these derivatives to hedge. Now the question arises: what is hedging? Is there anyone who knows what is hedging? Okay. Have you ever seen hedging? Hedge. Huh?
Hedging is a technique to reduce risk.
Yes, very good. Hedging is a technique to reduce or to mitigate risk. But uh, how do we use this? How can we mitigate risk?
So
You
there are
must have.
different techniques.
Okay. What are those?
So आप पढ़ाओगे.
Acha. So Priyanshi, you were saying something.
So through options and futures, we can hedge the risk.
No, I'm not asking how we can hedge. I'm asking what is hedging.
So hedging is basically used to reduce the risk.
Okay. Okay. You must have seen those small plants. Whenever we grow any plant, then we try to protect those plants by some hedging. राइट यू मस्ट हैव सीन कि कुछ गार्डन में ईंट लगी होती हैं स्कूल कॉलेजेस में सो दैट स्टूडेंट्स और द चिल्ड्रन शुड नॉट क्रॉस दैट पर्टिकुलर limit that border which is hedging. And sometimes on road we have seen that the municipal corporations uses some protection to protect small plants from uh, cows and the buffaloes. So why do they do? To protect those plants, which is called the general term is that they hedge to protect those plants. Similarly, if I'm entering into a contract, then I may want to hedge my position. I may want to protect myself from that unknown risk. Like I'm giving you one example. I'm going to import one machinery from US and the machinery is costing me 1 lakh dollars. I need to make the payment to the vendor of 1 lakh dollars, but in the month of October. Today, the dollar price is 74 rupees per dollar. So, as per today's dollar price, I need to make a total payment of 74 lakhs to the vendor, and then I will be getting that machinery. But when am I going to make the payment? I will be making the payment of that machinery at the time of delivery. Once I will be getting the delivery of that machinery. So, which means that I need to make 1 lakh dollars payment. And as per the terms and conditions of the contract, we have decided that I will be making the payment in terms of dollars. If it would have been in terms of INR, then I was not having any problem because I was simply required to pay 74 lakh rupees. But the problem is I have to make the payment in terms of dollar, and dollar is not my home currency. My home currency is INR, Indian rupees. So, and I know that I'm going to make the payment in the month of October. So, what am I going to do? I know that in the month of October, prices of dollar may go up or may go down. So, if prices are going to go down from 74 rupees to 72 rupees, then I will be very happy. I'll give each one of you a treat because I will be saving 2 lakh rupees. Instead of 74 lakh rupees, I will be paying only 72 lakh rupees. So then there is no problem. But other thing is the dollar price may go up by maybe by 1 rupee. So if it is going up by 1 rupee, that means that I will have to pay now 75 rupees per dollar instead of 74 rupees per dollar. And for that purpose, now my total payment would be of 75 lakhs instead of 74 lakhs. So I am more worried about this price rise in dollars price, in dollars value. So I want the prices of, I want to protect myself that I don't want to pay extra amount. So I'm going to enter into a futures contract with another person with a through exchange or maybe through forward contract in the OTC market, where I'm entering into a contract with a person and asking that I want to purchase those dollars in the month of October. So what price you want to charge from me? That person is of the view that the dollar prices would be more than 74 rupees, but he's not thinking that prices will go beyond 75 or up to 75. So he is thinking that the prices may be somewhere around 74 rupees, 40 paisa or 50 paisa. So he proposes that I will charge 74 rupee 50 paisa per dollar. I thought it's better to pay 74 rupees 50 paisa at the time of delivery in the month of October than to wait till due date and then pay 75 rupees or more than that to the vendor. So I agree, entered into that contract. Today spot price is 74 rupees. But in future, when I'm going to purchase the currency from him, then I've entered that I will be only paying 74 rupees 50 paisa, no matter whether the price of the dollar is 74 rupees or 76, 78, 80, 90, whatever it is. But I'm not going to pay more than 74 rupees 50 paisa. So he has entered, he agreed, and we entered. So here, when I'm entering into this contract to protect myself from the price rise in dollars, then that will be called as hedging because I'm entering into a contract and that contract is I'm entering into this hedging just to protect my normal course of action, my business risk. So another example which I wish to give you is that an oil merchant buys a large quantity of oil that would take 2 weeks to reach him. Now he fears. So earlier example I gave you for dollars. This is the example which is for oil. So he wants to purchase a large quantity of oil that would take 2 weeks to reach him. Now he fears that the oil prices may fall in the coming 2 weeks. So that was the example of buying something, and this is the example of selling. So sorry, this is also of buying, but so he fears that the oil prices may fall in the coming 2 weeks. So oil may have to be sold at lower prices. So he may have to sell that oil because he's buying. So the oil prices may fall down. So he may have to sell that oil at a lower price. So what will happen that he would like to protect himself from the fall of these oil prices. So the trader can sell this oil in the forward or futures market with a matching price to hedge. So he knows that he has purchased the oil for 80 rupees per liter, and in future, after 2 weeks, by the time he will receive the delivery of oil, the prices of oil may go down from 80 to 74 rupees. So what he has to do, he has to, how can he hedge his contract? He can sell the oil today only, maybe for 80 rupees, maybe for 78, 79, whatever. But if he's taking a position, reverse position, then he can hedge himself. Yes, if there is any doubt, please ask me if there is any question, so that we, otherwise we will move ahead.
Sir,
Yes, a little louder.
hello.
Yes.
So, what's the difference between forward and future contract?
I'll be telling you. So far, we have not yet reached that particular position. So I'll be telling you all those things. But right now, is there any doubt in hedging? I'm
No, sir.
asking this. No?
No, sir.
Okay. So can we move on to next? So
Yes, sir.
forward and futures contract will be there. When exchange is involved, then that contract would be futures. If exchange is not there, if it is OTC traded contract, if it is OTC traded contract, then this will be forward contract. Norin, you want to say something?
Sir,
Please explain it once again?
Which one?
Sir, so can you please explain it once again? I have lost my
Okay,
connection.
forward and futures. Norin, Norin. I think again she is lost her connection. So no matter. Forward contracts are the contracts which are OTC traded, which are over the counter market contracts, which are customized as per the need of buyer and seller. But the exchange traded contracts, futures are exchange traded contracts. That means these will be standardized. Standardized in terms of price, standardized in terms of quantity, that at least you have to purchase one lot. If I want to purchase dollars in the futures market, then I will have to purchase at least minimum one lot, and one lot quantity will be $1,000. So I cannot purchase $800 or $950 or $970, no matter whether I'm in need of those dollars or not. But I will have to purchase minimum one lot, and one lot of $1,000. So I can either purchase $1,000 or $2,000,
So
three
can you
thousand dollars, four
explain this
thousand dollars.
example once
Which
again? I have lost my
which
connection,
example?
so I couldn't hear.
Okay, good. So, Norin, am I audible now?
So
Hello.
hedge.
Hedging. Okay, hedging example. So I was explaining you forward and futures because I thought you were talking about the same. So hedging is, am I audible? Norin.
Yes, sir.
Hello. This is the limitation of online teaching because it does not depend upon the network connectivity of only student or only of teacher. Sometimes this problem may be there with me, sometimes it may be with you. So we will have to bear with this. Has joined. Noren, no. So if she'll join, we'll come back on this particular topic. If there is any doubt to any other student, then please ask me. Any doubt? At least write yes,
No, sir.
no.
Oh, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, okay, right. Otherwise, it appears as if I'm speaking on radio. Thanks to online teaching. And now I can understand what a great job those RJs are doing. They are speaking on their own. Right. So this is the example of hedge where the person is want to purchase some large quantity of oil, and the oil will be delivered to him in next 2 weeks, but he is afraid of the oil fall in the oil prices. So to protect himself from the fall in the oil prices, he can sell in the oil in the forward market or in the futures market, right? So this is what is hedging is. Then another use of derivative is speculate. Person can trade in derivatives to speculate as well. What is the speculation? Speculation is I I have nothing to do with dollar. If I'm importing anything and then I'm taking a position in dollars, then one can understand that I'm hedging my position. Maybe because I have to import some machinery and I need to make the payment, or if I have to go to another country, maybe for my business purposes, I have to visit US or Japan for maybe for business purposes or maybe for personal reasons, for traveling purposes. In both the cases, and I know that I'm going to visit that particular place in the month of March 2021. So for that purpose, may need dollars or Japanese yen at that time. So I'm protecting myself from that price rise. So I'm buying in the forward market today only. So that would be the example of hedging. But speculation is I have nothing to do with dollars in normal course of action. Neither I'm importing anything, nor I'm exporting, nor I'm going to visit that particular place, but I'm trading in dollars just to make some money and making that money by the difference of fluctuations in the dollar's prices. So I have nothing to do with the dollar, but then also I'm dealing in dollars, I'm trading in dollar so that I can make some profit by the price differences. And this is what is called speculation. So one use of derivative is hedging, the other one is speculation. Means I'm buying dollar that I assume that in 1 month time period, in next 30 days, in next 20 days, 10 days, dollar may touch 76 rupees price. And today dollar is trading at 75 rupees, for example. So I am assuming that the if dollar will move from 75 to 76, then I will be having a 1 rupee profit. And if I can reduce, I can remove 20 paisa brokerage, then also I will be making some money, 80 paisa per dollar. And if one lot is of $1,000, then how much money I have made? I have made 1,000 rupees, $1,000 into 80 paisa, 800 rupees I have made. So if I'm entering into a 10 contracts, 10 lots contract, then I can make how much money? 8,000 rupees. So this is how I want to speculate on dollars prices. So example of this would be assume that the share of Infosys is currently trading at 950 and a speculator is bullish on this share. He expects price to go up to 1015 next 1 month. So he would like to purchase the share in the spot market at 950 and would like to sell in the futures or forward market at 1050. This is the example of speculation where the person is just buying and selling so that he can make some money by the price difference. I hope this is clear. Norin, you are back.
Yes, sir. Just now.
Okay. This is how this speculation will be there. You can refer to the recording, and otherwise, I'll explain you. You can stay back after this class, and then I'll explain you. Right. So speculation is clear. Is it clear? Speculation to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So the third thing is arbitrage. Derivatives can also be used to arbitrage. Arbitrage. Anyone who would like to give it a try? What is arbitrage? Any idea?
So they are the
Yeah.
people who trade for 1 to 3 minutes, not for more
Hmm.
than that, but they trade in quantity. If there is any difference in price in two exchanges of same
Yes.
commodity,
Yes.
like
Very good.
so we purchase that commodity in very large quantity and they only trade for few minutes.
Right. Very good. So here we will be discussing arbitrage is a contract where person enters into two markets. From one market, he buys the underlying asset. In another market, he sells the underlying underlying asset. Right. So what is going to happen? We will be buying from one market and selling in another market. And why we are buying from another market? We will be buying from the market where the asset is available at a lower price. And we will be selling at the market where the asset is available for sale at a higher price. So the price difference will be our profit, our gain. And generally, this particular situation occurs for a short period because everyone we know, all of you must be knowing that we know that the market, whosoever is participating in the market, they are having complete knowledge about the market. So they know what is the price in the one market and what is the price in the another market. So the wheresoever it is available at lower price, everyone would like to purchase from that market, right? So if everybody is going to the same market to buy the product, then what will happen? Demand of that market in that market will increase. And if demand is high, then what will happen? We know price will increase. And then everyone will start selling in the other market where the prices are high. So then what will happen? If they are going to sell their shares or whatever underlying asset they are selling, then supply will increase. And if supply is increasing, then price will fall down. So this is what happens in arbitrage. In this case, the person will enter into two markets. And if the example is if the share is quoted at lower price on the BSE and at a higher price on the NSE, means you must be knowing that shares you if you want more trading in your shares, you need to list your share on both the exchanges or on different exchanges. So if the share is available on both exchanges, and if the person is buying it at BSE at lower price, then he can sell it in the NSE at higher price. So arbitrager will make profit by buying shares at BSE and selling the same at NSE. Right? So this is what is called arbitrage. So these are the three ways through which we can use derivatives. We can use derivatives to hedge, to speculate, and to arbitrage. So this is all from my side. If you are having any query, please ask me. I will be happy to answer your answers, or you can leave. Norin, if you can wait for 2 3 minutes, I can explain it to you.
Yes, sir.
So Norin, your question was what is forward and futures contract, right?
No, sir. My connection lost at hedging, sir.
Okay, hedging. So what is hedging? Your question was hedging.
Yes,
So
sir.
hedging, what happens that we are entering into a contract, and to enter into that particular contract, what are we going to do? we will be we have to protect ourselves. Like, uh, I have to import a machinery, and to import that machinery, I need to make a payment of $1 lakh. But today, if I'm going to purchase those $1 lakh, then I need to make how much payment? 74 lakhs. But what is the problem with this? That I will have to hold those 74 lakh dollars for next 2 months. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So I will have to hold those dollars for next 2 months, or I could have keep the same money. Uh, I could use the same money in my business, and I could earn a return of maybe 12% return, or 14% return, 15% return. So I decided not to block my money for next 2 months. I decided to enter into a futures contract or forward contract, and I found a party who was willing to deliver $1 lakh in the month of October, and was also ready to receive that amount in the month of October. But that party told me that we want 74 rupees 50 paisa per dollar. So that means in all I am required to pay 74 lakh rupees 50,000 rupees to that party to purchase $1 lakh. So here I have entered into a contract for hedging, for minimizing my risk. Because if I'm not going to enter into forward contract or future contract to minimize my risk, then I will have to purchase the dollars in the spot market at the time of delivery, when I will be getting machinery, right? And at that time, I don't know what would be the price. The price may be 75 rupees, it may be 74 rupees, it may be 78 rupees. So if it is going to be 78 rupees, then I will be losing 4 lakh rupees without any reason. Uh, do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Because I have decided, I've left it on God, on the mercy of God, that now God will save me, and whatever price would be there, whatever God wants me to pay, I will pay that much price. So if God wants me to pay more money, I will pay. If God want to give me some benefit, then God will bring down the prices of dollar. But God will say, I will help those who help themselves. So how can we help ourselves? By protecting, by hedging our risk, by minimizing our risk, and that risk would be by entering into forward contract or futures contract. So here I know from the very beginning that I'm paying 50 paisa extra, right? But I know that I need not to pay anything over and above this 50 paisa. But I know that if I'm going to invest the same 74 rupees in my business, then I can make more than 50 paisa from this 74 rupees. So I can make 2 rupees, and out of those 2 rupees, I will be willing to pay 50 paisa extra. So that's how I have used that money. But if I'm blocking that 74 rupees in dollars and then keeping those dollars in safe in my home or in my office, then again there is a risk of theft. So I'm also protecting that risk, that I need not to hold that money in my locker at my place. So I will be keeping. This is how hedging is done. Is it clear?
Yes,
So you
sir.
can again watch the recording. In case if there is further doubt, you can note down in that Excel sheet and that form, and then we will discuss in the next tutorial. So it's not the case that you have to fill that Excel
Okay.
sheet only on the day of tutorial. You can fill it at any time in the next tutorial. So जैसे रेडियो पर आता है ना, लेटर आता है कि ये नोरेन का लेटर आया है, and Noren want me to reply on clarification of hedging. So we will be taking all your queries in the same tutorial during that particular tutorial. If there is any further question, you can ask me. Any question? So
No.
thank you all. We'll meet again in the next class. All the best.
Thank you, sir.